People of the 5th District, you ready with a song? People of the 5th District, we getting ready to vote in Darky Walters. So welcome him to the podium as he brings the strategies, suggestions, solutions. Last of a day is green.
5th District, we voted. Turkey, put your hands up. Let's go, let's go. Dirk in the 5th. X for him is an X-Force. A man we could trust. We gotta make a change before we go Honda. And Dirk is that change. Relate to anybody, black or white. Dirky got the vision day and night. Dirky who the light. Dirky who the light.
Strength, stability, honesty, transparency. These are key things that we need within our community. Trust is most importantly. Turkey is the policy. Representing for all are we. Absolutely.
No more 6 or 1 half dozen of the other. Let me stick with Dirk. Make change for the better, more work. Let's talk, stop about propaganda. District 5 now go under. He's a man of the community, no just come Johnny. Candidate should learn from Dirky. Straightforward, trustworthy, the right man for the job. We voted for Dirky. Strong, courageous and true. Dirky will rock out for you. We voted for Dirky. With what turns you can't go wrong. Place your ex, the movement strong. We represent progressive unity.
A blessed good evening, everyone. It's so great to be here with all you wonderful people tonight. It's a great feeling for me. It's a privilege for me to share this time with you. And you all didn't have to be here with me. You could be any place else in the world. But you all chose to come and listen to what I have to say tonight. And for that, I am truly grateful. Thank you, everyone, for joining me for my official campaign kickoff. But before I begin, I'd like to extend my sincere thanks to my campaign committee, my 5th District campaign committee, also the entire Progressives United team group that I am with. And I also like to give thanks to my dad, my hero in life from the time I was a little boy. Mr. Lawrence Boots Walters. It means so much to me to have my father supporting me, my mom, my whole entire family. You know, it's such a great feeling. And when I say my hero, that's not a joke. You know, when you're young, everybody needs a Batman or a Superman or something like that. My heroes are my father, my big brothers, my cousins, my uncles, and my friends. The real people that are gonna always be there for you through life no matter what. And of course, my beautiful and wonderful mother, Frances, is in the house as well. Love you to life. Also acknowledging, of course, my queen, my wife Anisha, and my daughter Deja. No, I love y'all more than anything on God out, you know. And it truly means a lot when you have a loving and supportive family that is there. Not when you sweat by your brow, they sweat by their brow as well. You know, my daughter was home blowing up balloons all day. My wife was here doing the lovely decorations, helping with everything after we put up the tent. You name it. You know, I couldn't ask for a better person, you know, to be sharing my life with, honestly. You know. At this time, good folks, I always make sure to do this because we are in the 5th District. I would like to take this time to acknowledge the efforts and contributions of our dearly departed representative and loved one, the Honorable Dolores Christopher. A true Virgin Islander in every sense of the word. Understand that. A warrior. Don't mind the noise. I worked with Honorable Dolores Christopher before, and she was a sensational woman, a woman of character, a woman of integrity. As I repeat again, a true Virgin Islander. Join me right now in invoking her presence and her energy at this very moment right now. Allow me to give you some quick insight as to why I have chosen to run in this upcoming general election. I am running because at this critical time, our district needs a representative who is strong, who is courageous, who is honest. That's a very important trait that we all need. Honesty. A representative who is compassionate, who has compassion and empathy for all our people, with progressive ideas and solutions in order to enhance and maintain a high standard and quality of life for all persons residing in our district. Not a select few, for all. I am running so that generations from now, the residents of the 5th district will be proud of the choices that we make over the next few years and enjoy the fruits of our labor. I know for a fact the 5th district is one of the best districts to live in, to reside in. Having lived here my entire life, right down there in John's Hole. And it's so funny, as I've been on the campaign trail, when I tell persons I'm from John's Hole, they're like, where? Y'all don't know where John's Hole is? I say, right behind the police station. They say, oh, right in there in a little road, you're going by the dead end. You mean by where Boots live? I say, yes. That's my parents' house. And they say, John's Hole is in the 5th district? And I'm like, that just goes to show you, you know, a lot of persons don't even know what all the 5th district entails, all the areas. But that is another story. But as great as the 5th district is, we have some real work to do, people. Real work to do. I want us to be the shining example for other districts, and more importantly, other district representatives to follow. I want to throw open the doors in District 5, creating an office that is central in this district with regular office hours that you, the community, the members of the community, can come in, sit down, meet with me, have your concerns heard. I intend to have quarterly town hall meetings and social events in the district to encourage involvement by all in the community. Communication is key. Communication is key. And I've never understood, why is it so hard? You go around as a politician, as a candidate, you ask people for their vote, you get elected, and then people don't see you. Some people don't hear from you for sometimes years at a time. Sometimes years at a time. What is so hard? You have regular meetings, people need to be heard. There's no reason why at least quarterly we can't have regular town hall meetings with the residents of the district. I want you to know what we are doing. And more importantly, to let you know how everyone in the community is doing. Also, we're keeping in line with our commitment to each other in this community. That is my pledge for new openness and transparency. You, the residents of District 5, can hold me accountable, take me to task. You can count on that. And that is one of the biggest issues we have in this community, in the entire territory. We do not take our elected representatives to task. It's about accountability. I can guarantee you can take me to task. You can stop me on the road, you can call me on the phone, come to my office. You don't have to worry about calling a secretary. I want to make an appointment to see Mr. Walter, such and such. I want to be accessible as possible, because the power is in the people. This is going to take collaborative effort. I cannot do this without you, the people. I pledge to inform you of all matters that will affect the district. You, the people, deserve to have a say in how your government operates, of course, as the people are the ones that hold the power. Just as children oftentimes teach us more than we can ever teach them, It's the same scenario with people. You can't just go in and feel like you can be a rogue and do what you want without hearing the concerns of the citizens. It's just like when you're on a job. Sometimes, you know, they have this thing where you can have persons walk in, the people that toil, the people that do the hard work, that are in the trenches. But instead, they will look to bring in some consultant or someone that come from Timbuktu or wherever and bring them and empower them over you, the people that have been in the trenches doing the work all the time. Who better to check with? Who better to get the concerns and find solutions than the very persons that are in the trenches doing the work? Now, I am running to represent you, the people. I want to be an extension of you. I mean well for you. I mean well for everyone in this great district. I don't even care if you could vote, to be honest. Once you live in the 5th district, once you are a resident of the 5th electoral district of the Virgin Islands, I want to represent you. Not some of you, but all of you, all the time. I want to help make your lives better. I am not on a quest for power. I was even solicited by some of these other entities out here. But I made my decision. I made my choice to stand with Progressives United, with persons of the same values and principles as myself. Persons of honor and integrity that will never put party above people. It should always be people above party, all the time. I cannot be bought. Trust and believe. I cannot be manipulated. I am not a puppet where someone is in the shadows pulling the strings of these puppets. Facts. We're talking facts, pure facts. I am not a puppet. I don't have any multi-millionaires backing me financially. I don't even have any rich friends. I don't even have any rich friends. But what I do have, ladies and gentlemen, is a profound love for my district, District 5, and the entire Virgin Islands. For my community that I grew up in and have been a part of my entire life, and a desire to commit to you, the people, with the high moral standards by which my parents, my grandparents, my aunties, my uncles, my entire family raised me with. I am ready for this task to represent you. I intend to bring you solutions and initiatives to genuinely improve the quality of life for persons of the 5th district. The 5th district is vast. It is not as small as some persons think it is. When I'm on the road, and this is not just recently either, this is for years now. Sometimes you know, having general conversations on the road with persons, and you tell them you're from the 5th district. Oh, you from Hampton's Gut? You know, some persons genuinely think that Hampton's Gut alone is the 5th district. But if they only know, but let us reiterate to them how vast and great and beautiful our great district is. We have to make sure we take care of all the areas within the 5th district, not just a select few. We can't do like some politicians when they go in a district and they concentrate mostly on the most densely populated area just for the sake of votes. And so many other persons are left behind. We cannot continue down that road. It can never be about a select few. It has to be about all the persons. Most persons don't even know. You talk about Pazaya Estate. Most people don't even know Pazaya Estate is in the 5th. Just this week, I've been having conversations with persons. They don't know where the Red Cross is in the 5th. They don't know Tobacco Wharf is in the 5th. They don't even know up to Johnson got all up by the graveyard. That's the 5th. I'm pretty sure some of y'all here may not even have known that. And when we go up the hill by our brothers and sisters, we talking Long Trench, we talking Great Mountain, Far Hill, George's North Side. What about them? What about right down the road where I'm from, where most people don't even know exists? John's Hole. We come ski too as well. Y'all even know where the moorings and all is in the 5th. Persons don't even know Treasure Isle Hotel is in the 5th, people. In the 5th, people, you all realize we have the biggest primary school in the entire territory in the 5th. Alta Scatliff Primary School, the mighty Scatliff in the 5th district, Enid Scatliff, Rotong Police Station is right there. that can bring back memories for you. Mighty Scatliff, all right, don't get carried away, so. The 5th district is a superpower in the Virgin Islands territory. People understand that. We are in one of the biggest, most viable economic zones in the territory, and we are taken for granted. We are cast aside. Do y'all realize we even have 2 of the largest distributors, retail and wholesale distributors of beverages and all products in our very district? You realize the kind of buying and retail power we have in our district alone? And they want to forget us? They want to leave us behind? They matter what? We let that noise pass a second. As we continue, look at what we are capable of, people. Look at what we have produced in terms of so many skilled and talented persons in our great district. One thing I know about the 5th is we produce legends. We produce icons in this country. Legends and icons. Some of our very stalwarts in the 5th district. Mr. Liston Smith. The late Honorable Ethlyn Smith. Mr. James Tadman. Mr. Ashley Ritter. Other persons like Mr. Fletcher Scatliff. I could go on and on and on and on and on. We are a district of greats. But people, there are also many unsung heroes in our district. Yes, we have the stalwarts. I could go way back decades ago, but we have many persons that contribute so positively and immensely in our district. And I would like to acknowledge some of those persons right now. I definitely have to big up my friend Mr. Marvin Blyden, also known as MB. I would at this time like to acknowledge the efforts of persons like Mr. Brian Blyden, known as Chinaman. Ladies and gentlemen, this young man selflessly risked life and limb during the clearing of debris and cleanup efforts right here in Hampton Scott following the storms. Not to mention nearly destroying one of his most expensive machines. But some of these persons, you don't hear anyone sing their praises. Sacrifice. We have persons in our district that give back so much and no one speaks about them. They don't get their just due, but I want to big them up. I will also at this time like to big up my neighbor, Mr. Jaime Scatliff. This young man also contributed and assisted greatly in the cleanup efforts, debris and trash, all of that in the John's Hole Horsepath area especially. What would we do without these young men? We were district left stranded, and these persons stepped up to the plate genuinely, without anyone approaching them, without anyone coming and signing with a checkbook ready to sign, sprung into action and helped us out so greatly in this district. We have to applaud the efforts of these persons. And there's also a few other persons I would like to shout out at the same time. I want to big up my friend and neighbor, Miss Nicole Whitley, known as Drummer Girl. Because unbeknownst to a lot of persons in the district, Drummer Girl, Nikki actually coordinated and organized several district cleanup efforts where some of us residents of the district, we walked the whole of Hampton's gut. We got dung and dirty all along in the guts. with our hands and stuff, and we picked up trash. We compiled everything. We did it as a community initiative, and as small, as minute as that may seem, that's big. It's a big deal. We have to continue to come together as a community for these efforts, people. I also like to shout out Mr. Sinclair Fleming, known as Steady, the owner of P3, Paper Plastic Products. This young man also assisted greatly, providing much needed supplies, even down to tarpaulins for people in need after Hurricane Irma, people that lost their roofs. Handing out these things, I personally saw this young man assisting persons, taking supplies to the elderly, persons that are sick and shut in, that can't help themselves, vulnerable persons. This is big, people. This is a young man in our community. Give these young persons a round of applause, please. I also have to big up persons like Mr. Tadman, Mr. Wilford Tadman, known as Taddy. After the passing of Irma, so many persons' homes were devastated. Persons were hungry, they needed something to eat. And Taddy, he bust down a little pot and he fed the community. Honorable Dolores Christopher, I know Taddy told me himself to my, she was gracious enough to come and contribute items, supplies, and he did this cookout in his yard and fed residents in the district. These small initiatives, these small efforts are huge, people. We have a great community. Exactly so, especially when you're hungry. I would also at this time like to acknowledge the efforts of everyone who was instrumental in the refurbishing of this very basketball court next to us right now. All the members of the committee, Mr. Reimer, Mr. Watley Egger, everybody that had anything to do with it. I don't know all the names, but regardless of your affiliation, I applaud any positive effort in our community. This is not about politics for me. I will big up who I have to big up. When somebody does something positive, we applaud them. It's as simple as that. We have no time for politics around here. We have to stay real. And I am personally here in this race to tell you, regardless of the outcome, I am here to change the dynamics of politics in this country forever. Understand what I said? I am here to change the dynamics of politics in this country forever. We don't have no time for no propaganda. We don't have no time for no slander, up and down, talking about each other, bringing each other down. We're supposed to be lifting each other up and working together as a community for solutions, viable and sustainable solutions. Facts. We're talking pure facts. Now, great people of the 5th District, we have to be heard. The 5th District will not be left behind anymore. We are a city. People, we have gas stations, nightclubs, restaurants, wholesale and retail distributors, supermarkets, bakeries, hotels, marinas, charter companies. I could go on and on. As I stated before, we are in one of the most viable and powerful economic zones in this entire territory. But we need representation. We have been left behind, people. Unfortunately, it's a sad truth, but the truth nonetheless. We need representation. We are pound for pound the most devastated district from the passing of Hurricane Irma. If you can find another district to match us or beat us, tell me one. That's okay. I'll wait. I'll wait. Show me another one. We have taken on so much blows. Even before, pre-Irma. Look at us. Look around. It's plain to see I don't have to sell this to any of you. We were struck, people, by the most severe and deadly act of nature that I can remember. I remember after Irma, my father telling me, Dorky, you know how old I am, and I never seen anything like this in my life. So you know for sure, I never seen anything like it. And I know for sure I never want to see it again. And then, another tragedy to us. We lost our elected representative. We lost our representation. Who came to our aid? Who came to help us? People of the 5th District, I know your memories are not short. Who came to help us? Somebody tell me. People of the 5th District, I don't remember us being left out from electing at-large territorial representatives. Were we left out? Does anyone remember in the 5th District voting for at-large representatives? I'm sure you do. So, just as the rest of the territory voted for these at-large representatives, so did the 5th District. Where were they when we needed them most? Where were they? You say the one in the third. They might have a personal gripe with you. In regards to the 5th, where were they? Not one, it seems, was willing to step up to the plate. Our representative passed on. God bless her soul. You mean to tell me not one or two of them could have stepped up to the plate and fill in and come and say, listen, we know y'all lost your favorite girl. We are here for you. We are here to comfort you, to help you. We are compassionate. I haven't seen any of them in the district. We got no help. Is that what we call good governance, people? Is that what we call true representation? I think not. This is why, as I said earlier, accountability is so important. We need to start taking our elected representatives to task, hold them accountable. Where were you when we needed you most? Facts. People of the 5th District, I say to you here and now, my intention is to be the greatest representative that the 5th District has ever seen and will ever see. Yes. None would be able to test. This is why I say to people, when persons ask me, what is my platform? My platform is you, the people, all of you. You understand? My platform is you, the people. Empowering everyone, empowering all the people of the 5th District, not a select few. I want to know, what are your needs? What are your needs? And I'm not just talking about potholes. Everybody knows the atrocious roads and the potholes and all of that stuff, what structurally needs to be done. But I intend to be your listener. Communication and maintaining a proper, constant dialogue is key. Communication is key. No propaganda. People of the 5th District, when I am elected, it will be no more six or one half dozen of the next. You understand? We're tired of all of that right now. Facts. No, good people. We have a battle to fight. For this is going to take a collaborative effort. We all need to work together, regardless of our nationality, color of our skin, faith, etc. This is going to take the work of all of us. We have to be unified together as a people, as a community. But we are in an ocean right now. I'll tell you, we are in an ocean with some big sharks. Some big, huge sharks swimming all around us. These sharks that I am referring to are what we call the elite. And I'll tell you what I mean by the elite. The elite are the so-called upper class who keep fighting down the middle class to bring them down to the lower class. It's as simple as that. There has never been a time when the elite have felt sorrow nor pain of the oppressed. Look around. The elite cannot relate to the struggling families of the 5th District. Facts, they cannot relate. Don't you think that with the perceived financial strength of some of these persons, they could have assisted or fixed certain facilities, including the one I stand right next to at this very moment? Don't you think they are aware? No, because of political affiliations. Only now you care? Only now you know us? Only now you know us because you're politically affiliated or you're running your own party, you're financially backing your own party? No. People of the 5th District, are you not tired of being bamboozled by the elite? I am here to represent the citizens of the 5th District that do not have a voice, that are oppressed, that cannot be heard. I will be the voice for the voiceless. Facts. People, we are a loving, accepting, and forgiving community. But there are some things that must not be forgiven nor forgotten, such as the terrible and atrocious act of murder committed on a young member of our very community, young Miss Trinity Moses. Have we all forgotten that? Who not that long ago fell victim to that horrendous crime. One of the most horrendous crimes to be committed in the entire Virgin Islands in recent times. The murder of a young, beautiful, and vibrant girl who never got the opportunity to realize her full potential. A young girl who was a resident of our district. The 5th District, I remember young Trinity being my daughter's schoolmate. They played on the same playground, had some of the same friends. I remember having to console my young daughter after the news broke of the shooting, the murder. I had to explain to my child how here in our beautiful Virgin Islands, something like this could happen to a young innocent child. Where is the outrage in our community? Where is the outrage? Is this who we are as a people now? We have to fight to make sure we live in a safe community that is conducive to the growth and development of our youth. Thank you, sir. Needed that. Telling you that's my hero, you know. Think it's joke? It's my hero. People, a lot of our youth are living in conditions that are stifling their development. Many of the parents are out working several jobs, not at home for the majority of the time. Some young people even have to go through and witness verbal and physical abuse on a regular basis. We have to look out for our people, be there for them. We must have compassion and empathy for those of us that may not be surrounded by a loving family or that may be going through hardships that many of us may not be able to understand or relate to. Unfortunately, people, it still takes a community. We can't do it alone. Parents alone can't do it. We all like to look at the behavior of children and say, oh, it's the parents. But at the end of the day, we can't just chastise them. We can't just call them down. We can't just speak to these kids in a condescending manner. We have to try to help them. When we speak to our young people, the thing we need to ask is your life truly satisfying to you? That turns on that light bulb in a young child's and a young adult's head. Is your life truly satisfying to you? That will get their gears going. And you'll be shocked at how that small, minute question will get those persons, young people, speaking to you. A lot of them have a lot to say. A lot of our young people have endless talent and skill sets. They have no one to speak to sometimes. They have no one to talk to. They lack the confidence and the willpower it takes. We need to uplift and empower our youth. Give them the tools and knowledge so that they will become leaders, so that they will become system changers, trendsetters. Facts. We're talking pure facts. We need to instill in our youth the importance of autonomy. Listen well, people. Autonomy. Ownership. The real power is in ownership. It is not enough to tell our kids, oh, wake up, go to school on time, come back home in the afternoon, do your homework, graduate from school, get a government job, work for 33 and 30 years and retire. How is that really encouraging the growth and development of a young person? We need to encourage and guide our young people on the path to entrepreneurship, to acquire life skills that they can have true pride in. and that will pay them for life. Not just to be content with having a job, but learning trades that they can in turn pass on and educate others to become productive and respected members of our community that contribute to our society in a positive and meaningful way. We need to teach them that the most valuable currency in life, listen to this well, people. I learned this many years ago, and I say this to persons on a regular basis. The most valuable currency in life is relationships. Trust me when I tell you so. Relationships are worth more than gold, diamond, crude oil, anything you can think on. Relationships are everything. Relationships take you throughout life. Relationships determine your success, your level of flight in life. Everywhere you go in life, your reputation precedes you. Because by his deeds shall a man be known. Facts. By his deeds shall a man be known. Facts we talking. A lot of our youth people lack confidence. We need to instill confidence in our youth and let them know that nothing is out of reach. Nothing is out of your reach. We too often times speak to our youth and make them feel like they have a limit. There is no limit. Nothing is out of your reach. Once you dedicate yourself, you commit yourself, you discipline yourself, there's nothing you cannot achieve. Where there is a will, there is a way. Facts. We are some of the most talented people right here in the 5th District. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take this time to acknowledge a few young persons that are doing very great things that are from right here in the 5th District, including Hampton Scott. We have persons like young Mr. Rakim Tadmon, known as Celeb. This young man is a graduate of Full Sail University in Florida, USA. A university that has graduated Grammy Award-winning artists, engineers, producers, and songwriters. That may sound trivial to some persons here, but that is a big deal. Mr. Tadman is away right now, focusing on finishing his master's degree in business. I would like to big up Mr. Tadman for his great achievements and also for his work and his talent, building his own brand. He has a brand called PDB, or Press the Button, and he has empowered other youth in the music industry, in songwriting, recording, production, the works. We also have great musicians from the 5th, some of the very best in the territory. We have persons such as Tony Smith, Miss Lana's son, who is one of the top musicians. Drum machine, we call it rhythm box. You know what we call rhythm box? That young man is one of the best. Right here from the 5th. He has been in bands such as Prime Time, Extreme, and VI Band. We also have icons, legends in the music industry, like Mr. Darwin Scatliff, better known as Chicken. Chicken is a legend in the music industry right here from the 5th. He is a multiple road march title winner with Primetime and Extreme bands. This man has been to battle with the biggest bands in the Caribbean. You're talking up against Imaginations Brass, Jam Band, Eddie and the Movements, these great bands. And I felt so proud when you could see on the road for August, for our Emancipation Festival, when you see you have a local band that could stand up to the outside bands with the same quality of music and have their fans proudly behind them. That might seem trivial to some of you. That is huge to me. We also have persons like Edgar, Mr. Vincent Watley, and I'll tell you all something about Edgar. I rate Edgar highly because I remember this man started his little electronic shop right back there on the other side of the gut in a small little wooden shack. Even this size up here, I don't even know what size it was, a small little thing. Fixing TVs, radios for persons throughout the community. Look at what this man has today over here with Radiotron Electronics. That is huge. He has built a brand for himself. That's growth. That's development. We have to big up our own. People, we have come to a point right now in our district where we're not even concerned about the persons in our district who have worked for years to build small businesses, businesses that are iconic, that are landmarks. My chairman spoke earlier about persons such as Miss Iris Freeman up in Far Hill, who worked for years. You could imagine you toil for years working for the government or corporate entities. You get to save up your money, you work with your family to build up a little business from scratch, and you build it to be so great that people sing your praises, whether it's a restaurant or whatever it is. People sing your praises through the whole country, and then it's taken away from you and no one wants to help you. We have to stop these things. We have to help our small businesses, as my chairman said earlier. When you go by Miss Iris and you have lunch up there, if you order fish, the size dumpling Miss Iris giving you, you good for the week. Trust me. The food is so good. That size of dumpling she giving you with that boiled fish so big, you got to take a wheelbarrow and roll yourself back to work if you go up there for lunch. Facts. We have other persons like Miss Lana there at Kiddies Drop-In, who lost her restaurant to a fire. She walked, she toiled, she didn't give up. She went right upstairs in her very house and kept on doing what she loves to do, cooking. And then somebody, cousin named Irma, came along. Hurricane Irma devastated the whole community, destroyed her house as well. These are persons that we have to be willing to assist, stalwarts and icons in our community. My honorable chairman spoke of Mr. Ruben Vanterpool, who runs a museum at Far Hill, where you can still get fresh bread, cassava bread and more out of a brick oven every week. One of the best painters and artists in the entire territory, who gives tourists and locals alike such a great cultural experience. This gentleman has everything growing in his grounds, which he walks himself behind on the museum. From nutmeg to potato, you name it, he has it there. Our district is also so culturally significant. I remember as a young boy being right there in Hampton's Got across there by the gun. Mr. Scatliff, Chicken's dad. I remember right there watching the gun, weaving baskets from scratch. Mr. Aragon Dick Reed used to come right there and purchase those baskets that the gun weaved and take them to sell up at his place in Trellis Bay. And so I watched the gun make a guitar from scratch already, a full guitar. Gun is the same man that used to weave over the Jimmy John that we put a guava berry in. All of that stuff Gun used to do. Where have those traditions gone? That's one of the major problems we have in our society now. When these persons go in the grave, their talents and their skills go in the grave with them, and they're not passed on. We have to preserve these things. And Mr. Gun Scatliff was also active. Super active on the music scene. He was an icon in the Fungi music arena from the band Gun and the Shots. And I used to look forward every year when you see the Gun get a couple band members and he go in the back of a truck to serenade the entire community. That was one of my favorite times a year when he would do it around Christmas time. And trust me, the Gun wasn't a slouch. Because if you see they playing music, they're serenading, and one man strike a wrong chord or a wrong note, Gun used to have to put his hand over the mic and come on and say, because the kind of language, the kind of choice words they used to get if you play a wrong note with Gun. Trust me, Gun wasn't afraid. We have persons like Mr. Shabazz, who for years has been an advocate promoting the importance of healthy lifestyles, growing our own food locally. We all need to recognize the importance of food security, self-sustainability. We all witness what happened in our community, in our whole country, in the passing of Irma. We import just about everything here. Just about everything we import. I remember going to, I wouldn't say the name of the supermarket with my young daughter a few months back. And when we walked in the door, she got excited because she saw pomegranates. And she said, Daddy, I want to try these. I could pick up like 4 or 5. I said, sure. And when we got to the register, One pomegranate was $5.49. $5.49 for one pomegranate. I remember picking them in my grandmother's yard, down in town, every day. These things are superfoods, people. These are cancer-fighting superfoods. You really mean to tell me we must pay $5.49 for one pomegranate? These things have to stop. Even if we don't, for right now, get to the point where we can export a certain level of food, we at very least need to have a level of self-sustainability. So no matter what happens, we can feed ourselves and we don't have to worry. We don't have to worry about importing all the food. Also, I want to speak about ecotourism. There is nothing more important than our environment, our economy, our health. We have to take care of our environment. This is one topic I've yet to hear many persons speak about. Look at what we're doing throughout the territory. We're destroying our very mangroves. The first time I remember seeing a seahorse in my life as a young boy was down there by Road Reef by Mr. Roosevelt Smith, where the mangroves are on the other side by Visor. I only used to see seahorses on cartoons. First time I saw one in real life was there. The mangroves are there for a reason. Where's the outrage when we destroy these things? This is nature. We need to be focused on conservation. We need to also be focused in terms of tourism. Ecotourism is very important. And we can do so well with that here. It should be a huge part of our tourism product going forward, as we naturally have beautiful sites and beaches, even right here in our very district in the 5th, to promote conservation efforts. The preservation and protection of our should be a top priority. Emphasis should be placed on building low-impact structures to attract tourists. Structures that utilize the lands as is, instead of altering the terrain. Build within the context of the hillside and so forth. Build cottages and homes that are eco-friendly. People, no one really wants to come here to the Virgin Islands. They don't want to see skyscrapers. They don't want to see KFCs and McDonald's and all these other franchises. I remember talking to tourists years ago that used to go to places like Miss Catliff Restaurant and say they remember coming here all in the 90s or far back in the 80s and saying they had such an awesome cultural experience. They sat down, they ate food, they said prayers and sang hymns, and it was the most incredible experience of their life. So we need to be careful. I always remember my elders tell me, use what you have. And we have the best of everything here naturally. People, we live in the greatest country on earth, and I don't know about any of you. I genuinely feel that way. I have had my fair share of travel, and I have yet to see a place as beautiful and great as the Virgin Islands. Up to now, this is the greatest place on earth. Facts. Facts. You know I ain't afraid, my brother. I ain't afraid at all. Heart of a lion. That's right. We need to also make sure we stop a lot of nonsense that's going on right now. People, straight up, stupidness ain't sense. And right now, some of us doing a lot of stupidness in this community. When we conducted different cleanup and beautification efforts in the district, we would go all down in the guts and even on the side of the road. I remember when this district was so beautiful and people used to marvel when it comes through the 5th. Everyone had the landscaping and the manicured lawns, and it was so beautiful. And yes, we have a lot of work to do since Orma. We have to work together and try to beautify the district. But when we have persons in our district that's dumping lubricants, oil, bulky waste, leaving derelict vehicles on the side of our roads, does this look like done by the incinerator to you? Don't come in the 5th district with that nonsense. Stupidness ain't sense. Facts. There was a time when we could drink fresh water right from the gut. Fresh water right from the gut. Now you got to be careful because you don't know what kind of brake fluid and how much oil they dump down in there. This is ridiculous. You know I can talk the things. There was a time when it rain heavily, persons that grew up in Hamptons got notice. You can jump right in the gut over there. You know how many people learn to swim in the gut and not in the sea? Try and go and do that now. You swallow a little water, might end up peebles or worse. More focus, people, needs to be placed on the beautification and the cleanliness of our district. We're even facing the dumping of bulky items in our district. We all know that only certain districts that used to occur in at first, and that's something that I heavily detest. I can't stand persons doing that. If you can drive from your yard or your house and come to one of the green bins along the road and dump your bulky waste when nobody is looking, you could drive the same distance and go down by an incinerator. You're lazy, you're nasty. Stop doing it in our district or anywhere in the Virgin Islands. Facts. Not in our community. We need to focus more on the beautification of the district, as I was saying. We need to keep our parks and recreational facilities clean, free of debris, trash, old derelict vehicles, as I said, boats, trailers. It seems to me that sometimes even the government road becomes a dumping ground for a person that had a little hobby and they decide, well, I can't afford it anymore or something, so let me just put it on here. And we all like to sit down sometimes and blame the government for a lot of things. But when the government does something good like widens our roads, give us brand new paved, brand new roads for us, what do? We park on both sides of the road and we create a bottleneck of traffic. People can't even pass or go to work. This is craziness. It has to stop. We are not a dumping ground. People got all the boats, the trailers, all them things. You buy a boat, keep it in the sea. What you buy a boat for? To have it as an ornament? Pay your money. You want to buy a boat? Pay your money to walk the boat. You understand? Now, people, with all of that being said, let me share my ideas for a great and revitalized District 5. We want to talk about our infrastructure. I don't have to say too much about what can plainly be seen. The roads. The roads in the entire territory are some of the worst roads that I've seen anywhere. And as I said, I had my fair share of travel. We need our roads paved. We need our sidewalks done properly. We need wheelchair accessibility. How many elders we have in wheelchairs and walk with walkers in our district? We need our sidewalks properly done. It would be really nice to have walking trails, bike trails. What we need a lot of in this district, more of, we need green spaces. Spaces where people can just come, relax. They come out of the house. Right now, especially since the passing of Irma, a lot of people feel like they're confined. They're confined to their own homes, like they're in prison because they feel like they don't have anywhere to go. We just got a little refurbishment of the basketball court. God bless the persons involved in that. The youths could get to play a little game. But what about otherwise? We need green spaces for us, even our seniors, to come out, get a little sunshine, look at the stars in the night. Clean spaces where they can feel safe, come out with their families. And good people, there is one thing I have to speak about now in terms of the infrastructure of the 5th District. This may not be too popular with many of you, but we have to seriously consider zoning laws and policies, because it is ridiculous now that we have so many persons with apartments, apartment buildings, houses. You can't have 100 tenants in your apartment and you don't even have 20 feet from the road. Where are they going to park? Everybody now, I'm sure everybody that came up here tonight drive their own vehicle. Even if 4 people came from the same household, they drive 4 different vehicles. You know, that's how we are. But we have to be serious about this. Look at the bottleneck of traffic the congestion creates for persons coming from Great Mountain, coming on to work every day. Same thing in the afternoon. We have to implement zoning regulations. We can probably do things like alternate times where you can park peak hours like they do in other countries. During a certain time, you get up in the morning and move your car, move your vehicle. But the biggest problem is we leave a set of vehicles that don't even walk along the road and people can't even pass. I myself drove up here in Huntington one afternoon trying to get to Far Hill, and I pull up behind this car, and I swore I could have seen a person inside the car. So I'm parked up behind the car now. Not parked up, but, you know, stop. And I'm waiting for them to move. I start to blow my hand, and it's only when I really peep out now. I say, but the car just put on there. And I ask a question for people in the neighborhood. Yeah, man, some guy, he lead the car put on there for the longest time. Everybody's behind of him to move it. He won't move it. And at the end of the day, we have to have courtesy and consideration for one another. You one person might be making a humbug for $50,000. Think about other people. Have courtesy, have respect. We didn't come up like that. None of us grew up like that. We need to start looking into more energy efficient and eco-friendly forms of energy. Unfortunately, we are still addicted to fossil fuels, crude oil, and look what's happening. Look at what's happening around us. God bless the hard-working crews of BVI Electricity Corporation and all the linesmen that came in from other countries and nationalities. God bless all of them. God bless the Water and Sewage Department staff. God bless Public Works Department. Everyone that works so hard after the passing of Hurricane Irma to help fix our country back. But we have a long way to go. We need to seriously look, because I'm tired of us being in last place in terms of plans and initiatives. Why do we always have to be behind? We have the biggest, greatest source of energy in the universe called the sun. Why don't we utilize it more? We should have already implemented solar panel electricity throughout the territory from more than a decade ago. We need to lessen persons' reliance on the grid. Now, I want to speak about safety and resilience within the community. We should be having community natural disaster trainings. Because you work at a corporation, you work in an office, they will have tsunami drills and all of these things. They have them in the primary schools, the high school and whatnot. But what about as a community? What about in the case of earthquake detection system, tsunami warnings and shelters? Yes, there is a warning system in place, but there should also be designated shelters. What do we do in the event of these things? I would also like to propose community watch groups, because people, we have to keep it all the way real. We do not live in the same BVI that we lived in 10, 20, 30 or 40 years ago. We have lost our way in terms of looking out for one another. We have to be our neighbors and our brothers' keeper. We have to work together. It's about unity, collaboration. Public spaces. We spoke earlier about park and restoration maintenance, children's playground, recreational facilities, including basketball courts and other initiatives. And people, I want to say, we have to get our youths involved in many other activities. Because yes, we have a basketball court here in Humdonsgott, but activities for people in the 5th district doesn't necessarily have to mean we use facilities only in the 5th district. Beautifying a community. It takes an entire community effort to beautify the community. But how can we manage it? Simple ways to beautify the community. What areas of our community need a little TLC, a little tender love and care? The guts. One of the biggest issues we have are the gut. The guts. We don't clean them thoroughly enough. We don't clean them frequently enough. Every time you see some hard rain coming, the day before you see they gone with some high mac and some 10-yard truck to clear the gut. Does that make any sense? Shoppiness ain't sense, and they're doing a lot of shoppiness. Facts. We have to clean the guts periodically, properly. Garbage, the derelict vehicles as I mentioned. And also, even the garages being conducted in our district. We have no problem with persons trying to make an honest dollar, of course. But we have to make rules and regulations. You can't just have pitch up anywhere and then say you have a garage there, or you're fixing or you're changing oil. We see that all throughout the place now. Keep your place clean and tidy. Make it look nice so when people drive through the entire 5th district, Humdonsgott, wherever, they say, Look at our beautiful district. We could be the envy of every district. As I talk about earlier, our district also includes Long Trench, Far Hill, all that part of where the tourists drive through on the tours, sidewalks. We spoke about that. Abandoned buildings. We need to find a way to work with some persons. Unfortunately, there might be persons that may not have the capital, they may not have the resources. It might be someone, can you imagine that you're in your 70s or your 80s or even 90s, you would have already paid off whatever mortgage or loan you had for your home or for your business. You may not have had any insurance or the best insurance. Along comes Irma, destroys your building. What are you going to do? What are these persons going to do? We have to put initiatives in place to help persons in need in our community. All of us don't have it the same. All of us don't have the same resources. We don't have the same families with long pocketbooks, long checkbooks, long bank accounts. Beautification continues. We need to be encouraging residents to plant gardens in their yard. I spoke about earlier, back in the days, how beautiful the 5th District, especially Hampton's gotten about, used to be. For residents that don't have yard space, we find designated areas and make it a community garden where persons can rent spaces to grow their own items. Recycling. Teaming up with solid waste department to have separate recycling collection bins for plastic and paper. Team with other sources to recycle scrap metal and glass. We have to get serious, people. This is our environment. I want to reiterate one thing that I always say everywhere I go. People, at the end of the day, this is our inheritance. Understand that this is our inheritance. I do not take that lightly, and you should not take that lightly either. Moving on. Initiatives including bringing back community block parties and other functions to generate funding that could be used to maintain the community without always running to the government. We can do a lot of this stuff ourselves if we work together, you know. We don't always have to go crying and bawling to the government saying we need this and need that. We could show them we don't even really need them that much. Peace and respect, my brother. We're talking about fish fries, simple things like bingo night, game night, basketball tournaments, talent competitions. Simple things. And we are going to make it happen. Together, we will make it happen. Youth initiatives. We have to revitalize the community centers and team up with other associations to develop academic enrichment programs. Things like drama club. We have to develop music and arts programs. I spoke about earlier, we have so much tremendous talent, musical talent in our district. And people need to stop looking at the entertainment industry or music as just a hobby. It's a viable, very viable, lucrative career. You're talking about getting assistant persons with publishing, copyright, persons that are engineers, music producers, songwriters. We have to develop music arts program. The Virgin Islands, really and truly, we need a school of performing arts. That is what I propose. And there's no reason we can't implement that right here in the 5th District. We need a youth leadership council. We need to be developing mentorship programs. Big sister, big brother, know your body, sex education, pregnancy, AIDS and other STD prevention, substance abuse, boys and girls clubs, brownies, Girl Guides, Boy Scouts, etc. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to also speak about a group of persons in our community that a lot of the time we cast them aside, we discard them, and those persons are our elderly. These are the people that built this country, and sometimes we just leave them, we drop them down, we discard them. Not everyone, unfortunately, not everyone comes from a loving, kind-hearted, close-knit family. Some of us don't have that luxury or that privilege. We have to look out for our seniors. And we will develop elderly and vulnerable assistance programs, like adult daycare, a designated area in the district where seniors can congregate safely in a supervised environment, a church, a community center, etc. Disease prevention and health promotion program. Work along with community health services to have a nurse practitioner assigned to the community versus the current arrangement to oversee elderly and vulnerable population. The benefits of that, it reduces readmissions to the hospital, freeing up beds for critical cases and preventing long admission times. It allows for persons to feel comfortable in their own living space and helps to build a closer relationship between patient and the healthcare relationship. Transportation. We intend to have fundraising initiatives to purchase a wheelchair accessible bus for these seniors. Meal plans involve a nutritionist to work along with low-income, elderly, and vulnerable population families to help develop affordable meal plans. A Meals on Wheels program. Chore and personal assistance. Enlist young people from within the community to assist the elderly residents with chores and assist in other areas. Washing dishes, sweeping, mopping, raking and cutting the yard, grocery shopping, etc. Housing assistance program in conjunction with the Ministry of Health and Social Development for rent assistance and homeowners assistance. We need to work out and discuss better payment options for seniors, unemployed, elderly. We move forward now to sports recreation. Sport and recreation helps unite and strengthen communities. Sport and recreation is not about winning. It's about helping build stronger, healthier, happier, and safer communities. Ways sport and recreation benefits people and communities are the follows. It brings persons together, providing opportunities for social interaction. Empowers, inspires, and motivates individuals. Keeps kids away, children away from the TV and the computer screen. Too much electronics in this time. We need more reading. You notice the children now, they're stuck to the iPad screen, they're stuck to the phone screen. All when you go in the room to tell them good night. Good night, baby, I just want to tell you good night. I want to give you a kiss. They hide in the phone under the pillow. Do this trick. Walk outside the door, wait about 30 seconds. Ah! Roll back in. You see the phone on there on Snapchat. I see some kids in the audience there. They know what I'm talking about. Listen, y'all can't pull those tricks on us, you know. Just like I couldn't pull tricks on my parents, they invented the tricks. We invented more tricks. There's nothing new under the sun. Trust and believe that. With sport recreation as well, it improves mental health. It creates opportunities for and promotes volunteering. Contributes to higher levels of self-esteem and self-worth. Binds families and communities through shared experiences. It helps shape our national character and pride. Promotes a healthy, active lifestyle. Provides a sense of belonging. Fosters community pride. Tones and strengthens the body. Contributes to the lifelong learning. It's great opportunities for networking. Reduces obesity. Can help to prevent cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and some cancers. More than ever right now, diseases such as cancer, hypertension, high blood pressure, diabetes are more prevalent in our society than ever before. We have to be careful, people. Health is wealth. Facts? Health is wealth. Some teams that can be developed within the 5th district and have friendly competition throughout the district and compete during other tournaments. We have t-ball, baseball, of course basketball, track and field, tennis, soccer, and even chess. When you get kids, you get children to focus on activities like that, it strengthens their mind, their learning power. Swimming, biking, sailing. People, do you realize We call ourselves the sailing capital of the world, right? Facts? That's what we're called. How many of our young persons are involved in the marine industry? How many of us locals own a yacht, much less a marina? Other than maybe 1 or 2 or 3, which is a lot still, and I'm very grateful to see that. But how many of our young persons are involved in the marine sector? Where persons come from all over the world. Where persons come from all over the world and raking tons of money in our marine sector. We don't utilize it. Our young people need to be involved in marine refurbishing, being marine mechanics, marine biologists, all of these things. I was walking over at Wickhamski 2, next to a boatyard, and everyone you see, over 90% of the persons there walking refurbishing boats are from places like New Zealand, Australia, South Africa. What about us? If they have 3 persons residing in the Virgin Islands walking there, they have a lot. We have to fix that. That's where you have to implement such things as, why can't we have measures in place where at least for every 5 persons you bring in to work for you, you hire at least 1 local young person to work with you so they can be trained on the job experience and get certified in that field. So over a course of time, after you see 10 years has passed, more of our young people will be involved in those things. It's as simple as that. Facts. We need a Virgin Islands School of Performing Arts. We have tremendous talent here in the Virgin Islands, from the 5th district and all our districts. Persons into dance, performance, as I said, music, songwriting. We have to nurture these kids' talents and help them. We need to be focusing on building careers in all those things. Entertainment law, with a focus on intellectual property rights, copyright, publishing. These are big businesses, multi-million-dollar businesses, lucrative businesses. Sports tourism. There are some things that are a little antiquated at this time. We are in 2018, people. And while there may have been a reason to have certain limits on certain things decades ago, that may not be the case right now. For instance, we need to seriously reconsider and look at the legalization of motorbikes over the current limit of 125cc. We can't have a ban on all of these things just because one guy out of the whole territory used to be through the road 20 years ago. We have responsible persons in our community. Right now, I would even like to big up this group, 284 Revers, which is a bike club in this territory. Big up the 284 Revers, a group of responsible, disciplined young men that promote and endorse safety and responsibility, and they have been making a tremendous impact in the community, especially with the youth. We can be looking at go-kart tracks. We have RC boat racing. RC boat racing circuit is huge. You have whole crews and clubs that come in from St. Croix, St. Thomas, St. John, Puerto Rico, the US, you name it. I have a personal friend that's heavily involved in that, and I would like to see those things like RC boat racing promoted and marketed. People, you're looking at revenue. That's sports tourism right there. Everybody eats when we promote these things, from the taxi driver to the hotels to the restaurants, the bars, the government, from departure tax and whatever else, the ferries, you name it, everybody wins. It doesn't always have to be the big cruise ship with 5,000 people on it. It doesn't always have, we can find creative ways. Everything adds up. Find creative ways to boost our economy and help our people to help themselves. Drag racing, that might be one that some persons might frown at, but you don't know. Supposing we end up being a mecca for drag racing in the Caribbean, and the influx of persons we get, the kind of revenue we make from that. Look at Music Fest, King Garden Bay. Everyone thought that was a horrible idea at first. You know the kind of revenue Music Fest used to bring in here in this country? Everyone was eating. Also, organized gaming. We need to look at that, because what are we really getting off of? You go down the road, You might buy a little piece of lottery ticket from wherever. You try a little luck. Where does that really get you? We could be looking at pari-mutuel betting. All of these things. We have to reconsider. Of course, weights and balances. You don't just rush into anything. But we have to reconsider these things, people. My great people of the 5th District and the broader Virgin Islands. These are just some of the many initiatives and plans that when elected, I plan to vigorously pursue. I want to let you all know one thing here tonight. I mentioned it earlier and I would like to reiterate it. This is our inheritance, people. This is serious. I wonder if some persons even understand the magnitude of what we're going through right here now in the Virgin Islands. People, this will be the most critical and crucial general elections in the history of the Virgin Islands. Trust me when I say that. The most critical and crucial general elections in the history of the Virgin Islands. Facts. And I want you all to think with your heart of hearts. I want you all to research for yourselves. Do not go off of propaganda. Do not go off of he say, she say, any of that stuff. Research for yourself. Be informed. Educate yourself. At the end of the day, most important, I want every resident that can vote in this country to exercise their democratic right on February 25th. As I said, I will say it one last time. This is so serious. This is the most crucial and critical election in the history of the Virgin Islands. Do you understand that, people? Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled by fancy gimmicks and 20,000 billboards. Look deeply. Read your candidates. Always look for the connection. That's one thing I always look for in life. No matter who and what you're dealing with, I always look for the connection. Not all of them are genuine. Sorry to say, not all of them are genuine. They're not entering this race with genuine intent. Not all of us are. Some have ulterior motive. They have their own agendas. They want to get their hands. They want to get a chokehold on the purse strings of this country so they can keep creating generational wealth for them and their families while the rest of us eat crumbs that they scrape off of the plate and little water drippings. How long are we going to put up with this? People, look for the connection. Make your voices heard on February 25th. Elect Dirk Walters to the 5th Electoral District and the whole of Progressives United team. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dirk Walters. Good night.
Last of a dying breed, Progressive United. Hey, 5th District, we voted. Turkey, put your hands up. Let's go, let's go.
Dirk in the 5th. X-Famous X-Force, a man we can trust. We gotta make a change before we go Honda. And Dirk is that change. Relate to anybody, black or white. Dirk, he got the vision day and night. Dirk, you the light. Dirk, you the light.